Hi, folks. This is Mr. Green. And this is preceding the podcast that you clicked to listen to. In a moment, the interview with Lisa Danielle, aka Bronco Billie, will begin. But I wanted to take a moment to say this about the interview, which you're about to listen to. At a certain point, I began to notice that my dialogue or the words that I, in particular, am saying is being repeated in the background as if it were being played through a speaker or that it was getting some feedback on the other end of the line. Now, that portion of the interview cannot be cut out. I couldn't edit that out, and given the length of this, I certainly wasn't going to redo the entire interview. But it is there, and it is acknowledged. You will hear me ask, do you hear this, or are you running a speaker in the background or something like that? And according to her, there was nothing that was going on. And so I couldn't tell you why exactly I was getting that or why I was having this kind of cloned slash loop through audio that was going on. But it is there, and I am aware that it's there, and I want to let you know that it's there. However, the interview in and of itself does have some good information as relates to WoW and some of the things that Lisa Danielle, Bronco Billie, had gone through or dealt with, or why she's not there, and I guess some issues that she may have with a particular individual. She did not hold back, that's for certain. So I just wanted to give a heads up, and please, before the interview begins, do me a favor. Click the links in the description below if you're going to make any online purchases, because we are an affiliate of Amazon, Amazon.com, and you can go on and click that link, and it'll do a little kickback towards the show, which of course helps keep this thing going, keeps it free, gets the materials that are needed in order to operate and run a podcast / YouTube channel. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for your support in whichever ways that you have been able to do it. And on with the show.
The following program is a production of All the Way Live Entertainment.
From the Wild, Wild West, Bronco Billie! Oh yeah, Bronco Billie! She's got that lasso. I want to know what she's going to tie up tonight. Could it be a riot?
Well, I've heard of cowboys lassoing tornadoes, but I'm going to be interested to see if this cowgirl, like you said, David, can lasso a riot.
You know, and we all have our 15 minutes of fame, and I'd like to take a couple of my 15 minutes to talk about the rights and the wrongs in the world of professional wrestling.
And it is for the WWE Championship.
This match is for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship.
The World Heavyweight Championship.
The match and new NWA Heavyweight Champion.
We appreciate you guys coming out and taking your time to support women's wrestling in America.
This match is for the AWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship.
All right, folks, this is Mr. Green. You're listening to the Rights and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling on the Women's Pro Wrestling Network. And today I have a returning guest on the podcast. It's Lisa Danielle, a.k.a. Onyx, better known as Bronco Billie, who performed on the WOW Women Wrestling television program. And today we're going to run down her time working on that show / promotion, her memories of being America's favorite cowgirl. These days you can visit her by going to her website, smashbampow.com, or going onto the Smash Bam Pow Facebook page and other social media platforms and get into your custom matches. We'll talk briefly about that as well. So ladies and gentlemen, my guest, Lisa, aka Onyx.
Oh my God, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
I'm so happy to talk with you again. It's been a few years.
Yes, it has. It's been some time since we talked. Wow, yeah, it's been a few years since the original interview, which is in the archives, by the way. So free plug for me.
That's
Uh,
right, that's right.
you can always dig in and get that first interview, but this one's going to be a little bit more in depth. I think time has passed. The statute of limitations of what you can and can't say as far as what you were involved with WoW and other things is I think that's going on
Hey, I'm
long
not
enough
going to
now.
say any curse words if that's what you mean.
No, 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 no. We're not expecting to curse on there, or for that matter, I'm not expecting to bury anybody. But you know, what's been going on here lately? I've had some of your colleagues come on to the show, and they've talked about their times, and we've actually gone down and talked about their time on the show almost match by match, and they've given the not the play by play, but what they remember getting involved with in the match and what was going on at the time behind the scenes, why they were put into the positions they were put into, and so on and so forth. So, and I thought about it, it's like we didn't do that when we talked originally because I wasn't doing those type of interviews, but today we could do it. We could go right off into the full run of it.
That's right. And you're talking to the right person because I'm from the East Coast and I keep it real and I will tell you how it is. And if it hurts your feelings, I hope you soon probably will get over it eventually.
So fans, if you are a fan of WoW at any point, if you had questions about WoW, this is probably the interview that you want to listen to because it sounds like Lisa has some genuine information and she doesn't care how it comes across when she's saying it. So uh,
Well, that's right. Now, WOW is going on in Vegas now, or did they go back down to Long Beach?
I think they're back in Long Beach. They're going back to, well, they're going back to LA. We'll say that they're back in LA.
Okay.
I think
Well,
they're at the
it's
Velocity.
okay. I was not invited back to the show, but that's okay because now I'm on the East Coast anyway, which you didn't know about. And East Coast, we definitely keep it real. I came back over here to wrestle up and down the East Coast from Connecticut all the way down to Florida in the past few years.
Oh yeah. So you've been all over the place. So we should touch on that for a while because you were on the West Coast for how long were you living out there?
10 years.
10 years. Okay, so how long have you been back on the East Coast now?
I've been back on the East Coast now. God, well, we're going into the new year, 2018. Woohoo!
Yeah,
7 years. I've been over here 7 years almost already.
7 years. Okay, so was this anything? I don't want to say wrestling related, but I'm just going to use that anyway. Was there anything wrestling related that made this transition? Like, okay, I've been here long enough out on the West Coast, time to move back home, or anything like that?
Yes, yes, because some of the LA matches were going topless, and I was like, come on, man. This is about me kicking butt, not my boobies. You know what I'm saying? So I came back on the East Coast because I thought I was speaking to someone from TNA. And I thought I had an interview or I was going to meet with them. So I thought, let me get on the East Coast. To me, there's more wrestling on the East Coast because you go all the way up to Connecticut, New Jersey, Philadelphia, New York, down in Florida's big, Virginia, Pennsylvania. It's bigger over here. So I thought I would just go up and down the East Coast and spend time with my family because, my mom and dad are getting older and everything,
Yeah. Okay, so family decisions to
Mhm.
come back.
Mhm.
All right, that makes sense. I can go with that. But for those who haven't gone into the archive or they haven't heard the original interview, let's real quick uh, touch on a few things that we did originally, like how you got involved with our originally.
I wanted to become an action hero, not an actress, because I don't like memorizing all those lines. So I went out to LA and I fell into this audition that someone kind of dragged me to, and it was about wrestling. I didn't really know much about wrestling, but I was already somewhat of an athlete. I was a professional dancer on Soul Train, and I went through the school. I liked it. It went well. I enjoyed it. And, you know, at the time when WOW went down, I continued with my own company. And many, many years later, I still went on with it, which I think I was one of the only few girls that continued after WOW, even though they started back up just recently. It was just an audition that I fell into and started training and liked it and continued it. So going out there being an action hero, it just all kind of, you know, like The Rock, wrestling, feature films.
I got you. Okay, but before I go on, are you listening to this through a speaker? Because I hear myself in the background.
No.
No? Okay.
There's no speaker. No.
All right. I just hear myself repeating.
Hold on.
All right. So you are one of the few that did continue on beyond WOW. I think if I remember correctly, I want to say you, Jungle Girl. I know she went into the Indies for a while. I know Cher or Loga. She tried it. I don't think she ever ventured fully out into it, but she did the training outside of WOW. So not many of the girls once WOW
No,
ended.
maybe 3 of them. Yeah, that's exactly correct. Like 3 of them out of I think it was 50 of us, if I'm right, 30 or 50 girls on the whole team, because there was girls behind the team that everybody got to see, like Koala Kate. Shout out to Koala Kate. She couldn't be on the show, but she trained for the show because she didn't get her green card in time. But out of all the girls, I asked every single one of them. I think only like 3 of them continued or did it after WOW. So I was like, you guys didn't like it, or you didn't have fun, or you don't want to do it anymore. Some of them just did it for a job, you know. I mean, I did it. I actually liked it. That was half of it too.
Okay. Now you just touched on something that is part of my notes. Is that and some people may not be aware of this. There are promotional pictures outside that exist with WOW, with WOW girls that never made it to television, and you just called one of them out, Koala Kate,
Yeah.
and Madison, and a few others that I saw in there.
Yes, Madison.
And I think it's I don't know if this is an accurate picture, but one of them is labeled as Heather Steele, but it's not the Heather Steele that was on TV.
Okay. Yes.
So my question here is, to the best of your knowledge, first off, why did these girls not make it to TV? And secondly, to the best of your knowledge, were you the first Bronco Billie cast? Because I think there's one that looks like there's another girl in the Bronco Billie outfit.
Yes, there was a girl before me. I think she got married or pregnant, so I replaced her. And as far as some girls not making it, because they did cuts from day one, probably all the way up to taping or the live show, because it wasn't just about looks, body. You had to pass tests kind of mentally. You know, can you be a part of the team, or you're not a part of the team? Like, you know, if you, it's a sport. It's not you're going to beat somebody up for real. It's a sport like football. You know, you don't really want to beat someone up. So if a girl got into the ring and she was really mad at a girl and really wanted to beat a girl up, you're going to get fired, because that's not what it's about. It's a sport. You know, you're competing against them, but you're really not trying to pull every hair out of their head out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay,
So it's not for everyone. People did fall short during all the training periods, if they made it or didn't make it. You know, one girl didn't have her green card. One girl didn't make it because of her attitude. You know, one girl didn't make it because she wanted to drop out at the last minute. It's a bunch of reasons.
Oh. So they're varied between why they didn't get onto the show, but those were a few. But yeah, I was
politics.
I was
That's where
really
politics
surprised.
come in, because the coaches sometimes may or may not have a say, but David McLean always had the final say, so it didn't matter. Because, you know, me and Selena Majors, I'm 50-50 with her. You
Okay.
know?
All right. Now I'm gonna have to ask you. You got to explain that. What do you mean you're 50-50 with her? You good with her?
Because
You bad with her?
I'm not fake, phony, or gay, and I don't play to act or be that way. So if you don't like me because I don't kiss your butt, or I don't go out with you after the show, even if it's to hang out, and you don't like me, it doesn't mean I'm not going to be a part of WOW. That was always up to David McLean. If they had ever gotten into anything personal, he's always still had the final decision. But of course that would happen with the trainers if they liked or didn't like someone. Everybody judges.
Yeah.
Why don't you like her? Do you not like her because she is against gay people and you're gay and you just want her off the team? I mean, why don't you like her? Because that's not fair. That's judging. We're here to wrestle.
I would imagine so. Now that's news that I was not aware of. I don't know if you're putting the information out there or not. Are you? I'm trying to handle this as gently as I can. Are you touching on
I will
the
touch
trainer's
on it. Well, I
sexuality?
will touch on it. Yes, I will. The one of the trainers from. See, now we're going to get all into that Weinstein stuff. But one of the trainers from WOW went out with one of the wrestlers. Yes.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I'm here to wrestle, and then I go home. I don't know what you all do after this.
All right. Well, okay. So did that adversely affect WOW because this was happening? Did this person get
Yes,
onto
I
the
do
show?
believe that. I believe that on our pay-per-view, when one of our coaches drank, to my knowledge, and then drew blood for real in a match, maybe she was angry that her girlfriend went back to her husband, but that's when we lost our pay-per-view, and the producers pulled out, and that's when it ended, and that's when I started Smash Bam Pow.
Okay.
That's the truth.
Well, that's
because I was there, so I know.
yeah, I know you were there. And certainly not what I was expecting to hear by any stretch of the imagination. But you did say at the get go that
Yeah.
you weren't going to hold
And
anything
people
back.
love gossip. I mean, it's the talk, gossip, it's the truth. Do your research. I mean, I don't really keep up with Selena Majors. Is she married now? Anybody know? Can we get a call in? Any call in live viewers out there?
Not that I'm aware of that she's married.
Okay.
But in fairness, let me just say that I haven't pursued finding out her social behavior. So I'll leave it at that. And
Okay, but I think her social behavior is why we lost WOW at pay-per-view. So, hey, you can drink, but do it after the show. You know what I mean?
Well, okay.
I mean, one maybe before, but not during.
Whew. All right. Okay, so I think it's no surprise that she was a trainer there, but how much input did she have in the show overall? Was she responsible for the booking, or hey, this person's going to win, this person's going to lose, the storylines? Was she
Yes.
responsible for anything other than teaching you how to wrestle?
Yeah, she trained us. They did some storylines and maybe had a small impact on the wrestlers, but like I said, David McLean was the final say, and she did a good job training us. We'll definitely give her that credit. And her partner, Thug, who I would love to see. I love her a million pieces. I don't know. I think she's still with her now. So that's awesome. I'm happy for them. So I'm just on the other side. I'm on the East Coast now, so I'm trying to do things over here. Like we've got a Comic-Con coming up soon, and on the East there's one in Virginia, there's one in Atlantic City. Up and down wrestling. I'm coming to Atlantic City in January.
You go to Atlantic City, you coming to Atlanta.
Atlanta and Atlantic City. Atlantic City this weekend, and I'm coming to Atlanta next week.
There you go. All right. Well,
yes.
You have to let me know something after the show's done. We'll get up on that, but let's get
Can we
back
have
into.
pictures together? Can we come
Sure,
take pictures, me and you?
absolutely.
Okay.
So, but let's get back at this because you putting out a lot of you might be starting some files. I was gonna say you putting out some, but you might be getting some going. So the character of Bronco Billy, where did that come from?
That was a character that came from Glow, Glamorous Ladies of Wrestling, which became, wow, Women of Wrestling. That was a character that they developed. She's a baby face. She's from Texas. I love her. I love that royal color blue. It looks like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader outfit, but
That's it.
I could not continue her because they owned it, and I wasn't a baby face anymore. I became a heel and went black, and I'm now Onyx.
Okay. So now I wouldn't have guessed just if I'm imagining this. You coming from where you from originally? Refresh me, please.
Oh my God! I'm on the news every day. You forgot? Baltimore.
All right, there you go. You're from Baltimore, so you go out to the West Coast, and they give you this gimmick of Bronco Billy, which is a holdover from Glow, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, with, or at least some variation of it, because WoW was more or less the spiritual successor to Glow. I mean, I know legally speaking, it's not technically related, but it is just through David McLean and kind of whatever the heck. All right, so you
I
have that.
love David McLean. David McLean's awesome. Awesome man. Shout out to David. Love him very much.
So you have this character, and they say, "Hey, look, you'll make a perfect cowgirl." Were you completely taken with that originally, or he's like, I don't know if I could play this.
No, I was like, great. Because some of the other characters on WoW, like Raquel was the little salsa girl, and I don't know, maybe. And there was just other characters that just, I'm trying to think of some more characters on WoW that would give you an example. I mean,
Okay, well, you want me to go down the line of some characters for you?
yeah. I mean, I
Okay,
was
let's start with
mine
Cage
was in
Heat.
my character was in the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader outfit
Mhm.
with the Stetson diamond hat, and right then and there I was like, yes, rather than Wendy Wheels.
Uh,
That was a little, you know, she didn't even have an outfit, did she?
well, she had some coveralls, or no, not coveralls. The workman Dickies. You know what I mean?
yeah. So
Like she was working in a garage or something like that, hammering up the
mhm,
steel. Who
yeah.
and she basically just had some shorts and a wife beater T-shirt on. Uh, who else we got in there? Uh, Cage
Or
Heat,
even, I think
both of them.
one was a Persian. I mean,
There you
you
go,
did get
Farrah,
picked more
Persian
your
princess.
character by your looks too. I look like the old Bronco Billy too, so that's why he also filled me in as that character.
Okay, so there was no apprehension to it or anything like that. You was just like, great, that's Bronco Bill.
I mean,
I'm a cowgirl
I
now.
had a ranch in Texas. I mean, I'd rather have a condo in Miami. You know what I mean?
Well, that don't fit Bronco. I don't think she would have a ranch in Texas. I mean, a condo in
So.
Miami. Sorry. Now, how Bronco afforded that ranch, I don't know, but that's all storyline. We'll get to that a little bit later on.
I
Uh,
lost it. I lost that ranch to I think the disciplinarian.
yeah,
I owed the bank and everything, so she took it over.
and we never got the conclusion of that story. Ah, yes, good times. We never got that conclusion, which is terrible. But anyway, how the disciplinarian was able to afford buying an entire ranch on a teacher's salary is the whole different issue.
I think back then they paid more than today, unfortunately.
I know.
I was just thinking
They don't pay no more.
today and the day before, I hope whatever the teacher's salary is, it's just worth it because kids being in school, it's important, so
It's very
I hope the
important, but
teachers get paid worth at least what they're deserved. You know what I mean?
they do not get paid what they deserve. That much I
Yeah.
can say definitely. But as far as the disciplinarian goes, where she earned the money from outside of teaching, that's a whole different issue for another day. So,
Right.
how much creative input did you have in the direction of Bronco Billy?
Not much. Not much. I mean, it, it it's their storyline. It's the same thing with WWE, WWF. It's sometimes those guys. I wish they could be more creative, and no matter how silly some scripts or storylines may be, that's just what you do. That's where you are. That's what you go with. That's why nothing about that. I support that as well. But being an independent wrestler as myself right now, I get to create myself and being a producer and my own director, my own company, and write my own storylines. But I'm real flexible with the people I work with. If they want to get creative or be themselves or add themselves, that's the whole independent circuit part of wrestling.
Yeah. So you never, I guess you were being a good trooper for the company, so you never went in there and said, hey, look, I think I should be doing XYZ. That didn't happen.
No,
Okay.
I'm easygoing.
Okay.
I'm not like that. I got a paycheck. That was where I was. That was what I did, and it was okay.
All right.
It was their money. You say what you want me to say. That goes for any actor, TV show. It's up to the writers. That's just the way it is.
Okay, fair enough. Now, being that you were doing basically as told, which is like you said, what a good performer will do. Bronco Billy, and if you go and watch the show, and I'm going to tell people that you can find essentially all the episodes of WoW on YouTube. There is a channel that has every single episode and the pay per view included in full. It's broken up, but you can go episode by episode if you choose to, so you can see everything that I'm talking about. But the character Bronco Billy at one point was seemingly all over the place. She was in a tag team, then she was in singles, then she go back to a tag team, and it didn't seem as if there was a definitive direction set, at least not towards the beginning. And when it got towards the end, it felt like it was starting to come together, but then it kind of closed down. Did WoW have any plans for Bronco Billy ultimately? Uh, and if so, did you know what they were going to be? Like, did they say, hey, once we get out of the pay per view, we're going to do this for you, and we're going to have this feud with the disciplinarian, and it's going to end up here, and whatever?
I wish I could have something great to tell you, but really, no. I
Okay.
mean, we did have plans to go to Vegas,
Mhm.
and it was great that we were doing autographs and signings, and we were having a great fan base. That we were doing fundraisers for kids. I was hoping that it would grow like more in that direction. Then what was Bronco Billy going to own, get, or do? Like, was I ever going to take the belt from Terry Gold?
Mhm.
Probably eventually, because I knew I was one of the on the top 5. It was Lana Starr, Bronco Billy, Jungle Girl. So, there was more of you know, the
Okay.
top 5 girls. So I knew we were going in good directions and doing good things, and good things were happening. But once the plug got pulled, it all came to a stop. So it all had ended. So
Okay. So, yeah, now I would agree with that. Again, kind of going back and watching the episodes, preparing for this interview. Uh, it seemed as if, at least on the babyface side, that Bronco Billy was one of the top tier players. And if I were going to categorize that, I would say essentially Selena Majors, Terry Gold, Becky, and Bronco were your top 4 baby faces of the company at the time. Is that
yes,
fair?
yes, absolutely, for sure.
Okay. But even with you being positioned at the top, there was no talk of, hey, you know what, we're going to get you girls ready for tag team titles, uh, or get ready for the singles belt or anything like that. You're just assuming at this point, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's fair. That's fair. Also, I think maybe the tag team titles would have been an easy run for you and Becky the Farmer's daughter. Um, you've already expressed why you feel WoW ceased production. You told me that, and everybody listening for that matter, that the use of blood in the pay per view, which happened at the main event, and that humongous steel cage that they were working in, apparently didn't go over well with somebody at the top. Is that what your understanding of it is?
Yes. Yes, because this was a few years back, and we had more of, we were shooting for kids, children, the younger crowd. Like, if you're Spider-Man, you have maybe a younger fan base. We were for the kids, really. So you don't draw blood for the kids, even though you might watch some video games on TV and they're all guns and blood. That's different. This was a few years back. It was a little more of a big deal. Like now you might see blood everywhere, but not what was the year pay-per-view was. Do you know? I mean, I should
2001.
know, but do you know?
I want to say that was
10
2001 when that happened.
Okay, so
So
that's a
we're
long
talking
time
about
ago.
15 years now.
Right. So back then you didn't draw blood on TV for kids.
Uh, not
Or even now you shouldn't really.
No, you shouldn't. I mean, especially now, it's kind of come and gone. I mean, wrestling is cyclical anyway.
And
Uh,
I mean, like if you're doing like on a Nickelodeon level or a Disney level, you don't do the blood thing. It's different if you're trying to reach both adult and kid base like WWE or WWF, where you got adults and kids there. It depends what level you're trying to reach. I thought we were more on a Disney level. You don't draw blood.
okay, I mean, and that's fine because I can understand that y'all basically have very cartoonish characters, very colorful. You were presenting a very family friendly
Yes.
product.
Yes.
But okay, so now let's dig deep into this now. Uh, and before I even go into this, let me say, because I've said it in various other interviews, that I do not have any sort of inside track to WoW. I do not know this to be certain. This is just my
Oh, you
guess.
heard something?
No, no, no. This is just me putting things together because you're saying that in your view, part of the reason that it went down was because of the use of blood on the pay per view. Uh,
Well, did
I
you hear something different? That's my opinion and what I know. What do you
no
think it was? You don't know.
no. My opinion is that the pay per view. Okay, let me rewind back a little bit. Judging from an interview that I had, and I want to say it was probably with Vanya. So shout out to Jacqueline Hyde. She was a lovely woman, great to talk to. Um, Judging from what I discussed there, it sounded like the pay per view was already kind of set in place by the time you guys were hired in the first place,
Yes.
which puts you in a really bad position because now, regardless of whether you guys will do well or doing highs or lows in the ratings, which you did good in the ratings, but you're
Uh-huh.
but you're already positioned to we have to get this thing ready for pay per view, regardless of what the audience wants.
Mhm.
So by the time you're starting up in what November,
Mhm.
by the time you get to February, you're pushing the pay per view, and pay per views are essentially ready for the hot angle. I mean, you got to have something that's
True.
smoking hot
True.
for
I
somebody to
understand what you're
buy.
saying. We needed more time. We needed more time and recognition to get there to have more viewers. That's
Exactly.
true, but that doesn't explain why that has nothing to do with David McLean continuing well, going to Vegas like he is finally now, and continuing well. Because, like I said, if the producers pull out and David can't afford to pay it on his own, we have to shut down production.
True.
So it doesn't have to necessarily do. Pay-per-view could have been not too many viewers or as many viewers as they liked. But we still could have continued it in Vegas like he finally is now, but he stopped because of money, because the producers pulling out. Whether it was pay-per-view or drawing blood or whatever, that's the way the dominoes fell.
Yeah, I think that he had. I think there was a lot of things that went into it. Maybe the blood was a big blow as well. I mean, I know the buy rate was reportedly low, which I can only assume if this is correct information. And again, let me repeat, I don't have an inside track. So,
Mm-hmm.
so if it was a low buy rate as reported, I know pay-per-views cost a nice chunk of change just to put on. And then you gotta deal with the crew, you're paying that, you're paying your talent, you're paying the pay-per-view company's gonna get a cut of their fees. So even with the attendance revenue being, because I think they did well in the attendance, but even with that and not having a significant amount of buy rate, I was like that pay per view probably pushed WoW into the red just operating it.
Yes.
That's
Yes, because we did have professional hair, professional makeup team. We trained 5 days a week. We were on salary. It definitely took some money to continue it and to have it and for it to go. Absolutely. It was very professional and a great team. I mean, I look now at my Bronco Billie pictures and I'm like, wow. But that's because we were airbrushed. We had thick, fake, long eyelashes. We were in hair and makeup for hours. And
yeah.
that's
Everybody looked great.
yeah. They
Everybody looked
airbrushed. They
great.
airbrushed our whole body.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we looked great. We had fun. That part was very professional, and I'm sure very expensive. But he did a great job.
Yeah, so when you
I
calculate
hope he's
all of
doing
those
really
things,
well now. I don't know much about them now, but I hope they're doing really well now and having a great time, and he's making money. I may have reached out to him. I don't know. Maybe Selena put me on the blacklist. Somebody doesn't like me. It doesn't matter to me because Onyx is the people everybody loved to hate, so that's just who I am.
well, we'll get into the revamp of WoW too, because yes, they have done it, but now here again, I've kind of chronicled WoW's return, its hiatus, its return again. It didn't come and just all right, bam, we're here and we're here to stay. I think they kicked it off again in 2012. They
Mhm.
shot 3 episodes and kind of shopped those around. If I'm not mistaken, that didn't really go anywhere. Then they got broken up and put online. So with
Yeah.
anybody that is looking
Well,
to,
they're too commercial now. It's a little commercial, a little like, are you guys, if you don't want to be sex symbols, and sometimes sex sells, obviously, so they don't want to be sex symbols, so I get that, and then do they want to be too over the top with their characters, where people like, this is a little stupid, or, that has something to do with it, too,
it's a lot of things. I mean, and there lies the issue. Just like we said with the pay per view, like it's multiple reasons why that thing, kind of hit an iceberg, so to speak. There's multiple reasons why WoW had a hard time being sold. Wrestling just is not an easy sell anymore. It's just,
hmm
you're at a point now where part of the reason that there's a WWE network is because they couldn't sell it.
Uh-huh.
Outside of a Monday Night Raw, the other shows that they were looking to sell couldn't get picked up.
hmm
But so they created a digital network where I won't have this problem again. I can put everything I have on this network.
Right.
Global Force Wrestling, started by Jeff Jarrett in 2013, basically did the same thing that WoW did. We went out to Vegas. I mean, and it's almost a mirror image. They went out to Vegas. They shot a couple of episodes, I think about 3 or 4, where they crowned champions and did the whole 9 yards, just like WoW did. But then by the time they were done, it was such a hard task to sell it to somebody that
Right.
ultimately it never aired.
Mhm.
It's airing now because you can buy the DVDs from Impact Wrestling. I think they bought or at least an agreement was made to where they could use it. But same deal. I mean, it's the landscape of television is different. Also, back when you were on WoW, WoW was a first run syndicated television product. Syndicated TV was still a big deal at that point, but now syndicated TV is pretty much dead.
Right.
So it's a lot of little small factors. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say that was one big thing that caused the downslide of WoW or caused it not to be able to be sold to a major television network. But it's probably just a bunch of multiple little things.
Right, and it's a journey, whether it's up and down or see what works or you get your time to shine. It's still a journey, but a lot of people that I come across and talk to, they know Glow because they've been around so long, and now there's WoW, and it was on almost every state for years.
Yeah,
it's been around for years, so people, they know about it, they hear it, but maybe they'll find their niche in something like a Nickelodeon TV show series. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think they'll get their shot and their time to shine, and I like to give that to David McLean for putting in all the energy and the time and the years and the money and the faith and the hope. He's very positive to make it go and make it work, and
Yeah, clearly
maybe just
he very much loves this project because I mean he hung on to this thing. You're talking about from
yeah.
2000 to 2018, and I mean and he's still pushing to try to make WoW, this big deal.
Yeah.
Now I've been public that I thought that they should redo some of the things that they have on there. I don't agree with the whole idea that, oh yeah, we held the titles for 4,000 days because we never lost it. I think that's ridiculous, but that's me.
Yeah.
I was like, look, just start it up again. I was like, don't count the championships from back in 2001.
Right.
just start it over.
Right.
But anyway,
Well,
it's not my company.
I guess they need to clean house, whether it's writers or trainers or whatever. Maybe they need some spring cleaning over there, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
So who was responsible for booking the matches show to show when you were on WoW? Who said, "Hey, you're gonna do this. You're gonna go in here and wrestle so and so, and whatever." But week to week, who took care of that?
Well, there's the writers. I believe they have their say, and then maybe David McLean or the trainers like Selena. Maybe I believe she wrote out the matches, but I think if someone didn't want it a certain way or a certain ending, or I still think David McLean, like I said, always had the final say to me, in my opinion. But there's producers and writers and trainers, and they might go and change something or talk about it. It's maybe there was more to it that started before WoW, like the Glow storyline that they wanted to continue. Because I knew of Glow, but I didn't know really about too many of the storylines. So I'm sure that went back to the Glow days with the storylines, and that was what? How many years ago? 20 some. So it could have started from the Raiders and Glow, and then they just wanted to continue it and Wow. So it's just this long continuation, you know?
Okay. How orchestrated was the matches that you were part of? Did you have to call it in the ring, or were they saying, okay, we're gonna map this match out move by move for you, so you just do what we tell
So
you to?
you're asking for the secrets to wrestling. Is it real or not?
No, that's what a secret.
Let me tell you what real is, okay? To some people, the bumps, the falls, the flips, they are real. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, I'm not asking
You know,
for the secrets now.
storylines are different depending. You know, like sometimes they're true or not true, or written or not written, or expected or unexpected. Sometimes you just wing it. Sometimes you do just improv and come out at the end with a win, with, you know, who's going to win. It all depends on the people, the company, the team. You know, I can't say if everything was scripted or written or word for word or exact for exact. Yes, I would say more than independent wrestling. And then what I do now, because the one thing that I love that I do now is that I don't have to memorize a script. You know, if I want to win or lose, maybe I decide, or I just let it see who wins. Or to me, that's the fun part about having independent wrestling.
Okay.
You know, it's like going to work and someone telling you exactly what you have to do. You're going to go to the computer, you're going to enter in this sentence, or do you just want to go to work and kind of jump on the computer and be creative a little bit yourself?
All right. And let me reiterate, no, I'm not asking for the curtain be pulled back, the secrets and none of that stuff. You know, look, I produced the video for a lot of the wrestling around here, and we all know that ring is not no trampoline. It's solid. It does hurt. It particularly, all you got to do is just walk across that thing to feel that it's solid. You know, it's not a secret. So, but no, I mean, there's always been the theory from certain people. I mean, because let's be honest, frank about this here. WoW has tons of fans, but it also is the detractors, like anything does. And some people didn't know how to take WoW. They didn't know whether you guys were okay. Look, we're gonna just tell you what to do from start to finish. Do this move, this move, this move. Some people believe that, and then some people just said, no, they just went in there and wing it, you know, whatever the case may be. So I just kind of put some of that to bed as to.
It's definitely. I think it's definitely both.
Okay.
I believe it's definitely both. It's more, you know, they're the boss and they're in the control of their show, but it's also more. It's both. Sometimes you get to wing it. Sometimes you get to do what they want you to do, or do what they tell you to do, or sometimes we also do things so someone doesn't really get hurt.
Okay.
You know, it's like again, even in football, if I knew I was grabbing for the ball, which was directly behind your head, I can say duck because I'm gonna hit you. You know what I mean? Or just hit you because I'm trying to grab the ball. You can give someone a heads up that something might be coming or not, you know? Like I know sometimes people hear, oh, they're calling out the wrestling moves in the ring. Sometimes we call out those moves so we want to get the ball, but we don't necessarily want to always knock you out cold. So duck, or you're going to get hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we know everybody that's a wrestler that's listening to this. I mean, they know the rules. You know, protect yourself when you're in the ring, and always take care of your partner / opponent. But but anyway, we know that there's an art to what goes on in there, and even though it was relatively short in time. There's a lot of respect that should be given out to the girls that went into WoW, because I mean you guys essentially had a crash course of pro wrestling. I mean, how long did the school last? I know you say you trained pretty much every day following that. But I mean, just think about this now. There are people that go out there and wrestle day to day now, hoping for a national television spot. A lot of the girls, you said they were about 50 on Wild to begin with before they got cut down. But let's say at least 20 of them, after 6 months of training, were on national TV.
No, actually, it was like a 1,000 girls that tried out. Then we got cut down to like 800 and 300 and 100. And then I think they ended up with 50, but they actually used like 30 of us. So it was a pretty big cutout and course.
But ultimately the point there is that, I mean, you got your 30 who, after, like I said, maybe 6 months worth of training, you're on television.
But we did it every day. We did it every day. We were there 5 days a week. Yeah, 5 days a week for hours.
Not discounting that. Now, don't get me wrong. Not discounting.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is a difference between the training and then doing it in front of a live paying crowd. Would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. There is a difference, and there are performers, and there's entertainers, and there's people that are cut out for it and people that aren't. That is true. That's why some shine and some don't, and you have to have the whole package. And I don't mean the whole look, but, can you get in the ring and beat down your partner with smack talk?
Yeah. And that's what I'm getting to, because I can only be comparative to the girls that I see regularly now. And anybody that's listening to this, you can go to Women's Pro Wrestling Network on YouTube. You can see any number of them, some of which have transitioned over to Wild, in fact. But a lot of them, I'm going to use Aja Pereira. You probably haven't seen her yet, but she's a really talented young lady. Super Pereira is what she goes under. But it took her a long time to find out who she was in the ring and get her gimmick down and get the look. And that, I mean, this is something that happened over the course of 2 to 3, possibly 4 years. And I say that to say this, is that a lot of you guys had to work really hard to make Wild work, because
and we took work home.
Yeah, I was like,
I know I did. When I went home, I would go jogging, or maybe you go home and look in the mirror, or practice outside of practice. It's all up to you. If maybe you don't even need any practice, because it comes to you like second nature. And then those that needed practice, maybe like acting, they would hire a coach on the side.
Well, so
to each his own girl, but I will give credit to what's meant to be is meant to be, because there were some girls that I thought, not some, just a few, a couple, that I thought, wow, are they going to make it? Are they too feminine? Can they fall without breaking a nail? Are they going to get through this? And they did, and I was proud of them, because it's persistence. How do you lose? You quit. But if you don't quit, you're not going to lose. So it was more about if the girls are like, oh, forget it. And then there was the girls that were like, I'm going to do this. I can do this. I want to do this. I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to get help to do this. The Baywatch girl.
I only know them by their Sunny and Summer names.
Yes. Yeah, They were awesome. If they started out too feminine in the beginning, they really came out tough in the end.
Okay, well now let's use them as an example. Since you bring them up, let's use that as the example. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so you got the what were they? The Beach Patrol. Got the Beach Patrol, and
the bikinis. Or red one pieces like Baywatch, blonde hair.
And Baywatch,
you think they'd fall over their own feet?
Baywatch was still on the air at the time, so it was a very topical gimmick. But now, I guess what I'm getting at is kind of the same thing that we talked about with the pay-per-view, in that the pay-per-view probably could have done better, say if it weren't in February, but it was pushed back to the summer, where you guys can have a long period of time to kind of build the story and get a hot angle going. That
Yes.
so too would go to say a team like the Beach Patrol. Couldn't get it out there for a second, but so too is that because they did well. But imagine how much better they would have been if they had the chance to like, okay, let's tweak this character a little bit.
Like do more shows and travel more and get
There you
out
go.
more and
But
yeah, absolutely.
because you know what,
Absolutely.
I
We
don't
did have a
remember
quick
ever hearing
pay-per-view.
them talk, and I might be wrong. I was like, I don't remember much about the Beach Patrol other than that they were the Beach Patrol. So,
Yes.
so
Yes.
like, I don't know anything about their character.
Yeah. I mean, but one girl, I mean, God, one girl had, like triple D's. You would think, "Oh my God, how's this girl going to fall?" But you know
But
what? She
how,
did.
she
She
did, yeah.
pulled it off and made it happen and worked it out.
She did work it out, and she learned how to fall, and she learned how to do the match. And I know one of them transitioned over to being Wendy Wills eventually, but I mean, as I'm thinking about this, like I don't remember much about the Beach Patrol. Like I very vaguely remember them even saying two words.
Yeah. Yeah, they look like the Baywatch girls in their red one pieces with blonde hair and
and
yeah.
that's where it started and stopped. So I say
Well, not every character had a chance to shine because we weren't out long
exactly.
enough. I
There,
think we were just out there a year.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's the point I'm getting
absolutely.
at because you and your colleagues were essentially put into the position where you had to be good coming out of the gate. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Whereas
At least coordinated. Yeah, definitely.
exactly,
Coordination is huge. Your right foot from your left foot. Ready? Live show, hair, makeup, getting ready to go out there and beat some booty.
yeah,
It's definitely not cut out for everyone.
and being bad wasn't an option. I mean, if you were going to screw up, you quite possibly going to get cut off of that show. Whereas in the reverse, on the independents, you're almost encouraged, like, hey, if you're going to mess up, now's the time to do it because when you 2 years down the line and you go into a major promotion, you need to be polished. You need to be ready.
Yes. Yeah,
So
and that comes with experience too. For example, 1 year versus 20 years experience. And how many years you do something. That doesn't mean, for example, even though let's say you went to school to be a teacher, it doesn't mean the first year you're going to be a great teacher because you went to school. It's the teacher most likely that's been a teacher for 20 years that's going to have the experience, the training, know a little more, been there, done that. It definitely takes time. So.
there you go. That's all I'm getting at. Is like the time, and I think again I talked about this with actually all of the girls at some point. Is that
Mhm.
it was almost a no-win situation. Like you you're coming out, you're training hard, but you're also on this national TV show. Like, who in their right mind wouldn't take that spot? Of course, you're going to take it, but you're also put in a position where I've got to be above and beyond anything that I ever done athletically here now because the wrestling community, although very loyal, can be pretty damning at times. When they're talking about how good or bad you were, or how good or bad this match was, and this, that, and the other. So I mean,
Yes.
there's a lot that goes into it. It's not the same as, hey, I just landed a role on a sitcom. It's
Right.
it's not the same as that.
And it's changed a lot too. People wrestling fans want to see different moves. And then when all the UFC and cage fighting came into play, they kind of incorporated that and changed some of the styles and the moves, and that's where it's like MMA. It's all mixed martial arts and fighting now, and that's the other thing that WoW hasn't really incorporated, like with But I don't know. I have to watch what they're doing now. I haven't seen too much of what they're doing now, but the raw
there's
footage.
one.
They're more the wrestling than raw footage, like punches and smacks and
they're not gonna
and chokes and blood and
that's not gonna happen.
yeah.
that ain't gonna
So,
happen. And if it
but
is,
it's evolved and changed into that.
it has. But I do not. And this is just me. And I invite anybody
That goes
that's
back
currently
to the
on WoW.
Roman days. That goes back to the Roman days in the Colosseum when
Talking
they
about
draw blood. People
bloodthirsty.
love that sometimes.
They do, but WoW isn't going to go into being bloodthirsty.
No.
That's what I say. And if I'm wrong,
So they're going to have a certain clientele, and they'll have a limited fan base just because of that reason, and that's okay. It doesn't mean they're not going to be successful and do well.
no, they probably do fine. I mean, as long as Genie Bus is forking out the bills for it, I'm sure that'd be great. But like I
Is she
said,
spending all her daddy's money, or I don't know?
I don't know.
I
Time will tell.
don't know.
But anybody that's on that roster, or more importantly, anybody that's in management, working behind the scenes, that has an inside track, you have an open invitation to come onto this show and tell me differently. You know, if you want to explain to me what WoW is and what it's doing and what the ultimate goal is for it going forward. I mean, so don't let me put out wrong information. I am more than willing to admit if I am incorrect, but I do not think.
Oh, yes. They'll let you know. Fans are honest. They will let you know.
No, I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking about the people that work at WoW.
Uh-huh.
It's
Oh, okay.
they got an open invitation. You can come. Dave McClain, he's been contacted. He can come on here. So yeah, I'm more than willing to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Yes. No hard feelings or grudges or feelings. I'm just stating my opinion. That's all. Everybody has their own opinion and a different opinion. That's for sure, because God created us all different. So we may not all agree ever.
that is correct. We probably will not, which is why the world is in the shape that it's in. But that's a whole other
Yes.
topic for another day.
Yes.
Now we have to get into the meat of some of this. And you touched on it a little bit, but we're going to go into it officially now.
All right, let's touch it again.
A lot of the original cast did not return to WoW. I mean,
Right.
I would say out of, if you're saying there's 30 girls that was on there, 5
I
girls
don't
went
know
back.
why. Are we too old? Do they hire all the young girls?
Well, that can't be because you got at least 5 of the original cast that went back. Uh, as far as I know, that cast being Jungle Girl, Lana Starr, Selena Majors, Thug went back briefly.
They don't count. They were already there. So now you got 2 girls from WoW out of 30. They all didn't want to go back, but they didn't call me, and I'm okay with that because I'm okay being on the East Coast.
Okay, so that went into the next question. You were you're making it clear you were not contacted about returning.
I was not contacted, and at the time, I was like, well, I really kind of didn't really want to go to Vegas. It's hot. It's Sin City. I'm like, let me just go back to the East Coast, and they keep it real, and my family's there, and wrestling's bigger over there, and I could do independent wrestling where I can call the shots a little more. Nobody wants to be told what to do all the time.
No, that's true.
You know?
But do you think that because you were already well into operation on Smash Bam Pow at the time, do you think that would have been a conflict of interest had they contacted you? Because I could only imagine that you wouldn't be able to do both.
No, it didn't have anything to do with that. I could do both. That was not a problem. That is one of the things that I've really honored and loved and appreciated about David McClain was if we had an audition for a commercial or we had something else to do, it was okay. Like if you couldn't make it to training one day because you had an audition for a commercial, He understood that at the time, WOW was part-time work and a part-time job. So if we had other obligations or other incomes or other things to do, it was okay if you missed training one day to go to that national commercial to pay your bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was very understanding and great and wonderful about that.
Okay.
Unlike other people or companies may not feel that way, you know. Independent, of course. I'm not sure what WWE or WWF or if they will let you take off for a commercial, or I don't think they want you to go wrestle for someone else, or
You
you
ain't
know.
gonna do that. You're
Yeah.
under contract.
So
You ain't going nowhere.
right, 265 days out of the year. It's like, God, how long you all sitting on that bus? Are they still traveling on a bus all the time?
That depends on where they're going. I mean, some of us
I
depend.
think they live on that bus, man.
It,
I don't know
it,
how many bathrooms are on their bus. Anybody know that? Anybody? Anybody call in? How many bathrooms are on the buses?
I'm pretty sure they're well taken care of. But just to reiterate, to go back on one thing here. Okay, here's the people that returned. All right. You got Delta Lot of Pain and Locust. So you got Cage Heat. They went back. Jade went back, but she didn't return on the second go round because this thing has been broken up into, I want to say, about, let's say, two or three different hiatuses. So she went back initially, didn't return following that. Paradise went back, but didn't return when they went to L.A. So that's four. Jungle Girl, she's there, and she's still currently there. Lana Starr's there, she's still currently there. Of course, I already mentioned Cage Heat. I got to say that they're still currently involved. You don't count Selena Majors, but I'm going to say her anyway. Selena Majors is
Well,
there. Thug
yeah,
went
because
back.
she was the trainer. Of course she's going to be there.
Okay, so we'll pull her off of the table, and we'll pull Thug off of the table. But so there you
Yeah.
have it. You got.
Yeah, maybe everybody got called but me. I don't know. I didn't get called because obviously it wasn't in God's cards for me. God's always first, not WOW. But you know, I remember Selena Majors wanted me off the team because she said when I did a bulldog, my hand was under her neck on the fall, and falling with my hand under her neck could cause her to break her neck. And, you know, first of all, I was always very careful with my girls, and I'm going to knock on wood right now, 1, 2, 3. I never hurt a girl from something I did intentionally or wrong, like ever, except once with Raquel, but she deserved it. But anyway,
Okay. Now, who
I
is
was always very,
now?
very
Wait,
safe, but
clarify. Who is right? Is this with Smash Man Power? Or is this with WoW?
no, this is with WOW.
Okay.
Selena Majors wanted me kicked off of WOW
No, you
because
said
she
once with
thought my
Raquel.
hand.
Who is Raquel?
Raquel was on WOW too.
Did she work under the name Raquel?
Oh, God, maybe she did have a different name on WOW. She was like the little Mexican salsa girl.
Caliente.
Yes, Caliente. Caliente. But so when she wanted to kick me off the team, and David said no because she thought my hand was like going to hurt the girl. You know, one of the things I will tell you right now, when you fall, you are responsible for yourself. When you fall, you catch yourself. You're responsible for yourself when you go down, no matter what. So no matter where my hand was, she's responsible for herself when she goes down. But she tried to say my hand was like in front of her throat when she fell on the ground, when my hand was supposed to be on the side. So she tried to get me kicked off WOW, but David said no. So when WOW went back into production, she was probably like, David, now remember what I said about Bronco Billie? She choked the girl and could have hurt her. No. No, I don't think that was the case. I think it was because, like I said, I wasn't on board with whatever they did outside of WoW.
Okay.
I was always trying to keep it professional. Like I said, I don't mind if you drink, but drink after the show, or, you know what I mean? I would try to be more one of those guys, not tutti frutti, goody woody, not that. I mean, but I mean, you know, there's certain things you got to do. Don't drink too much before you wrestle me, because you know what I'm saying? There's a place for that.
Yeah.
You drink after wrestling, my opinion.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, you're putting your body in somebody's hands. I mean, yes, I want you to be as conscious as possible. So be professional with what's going on in there, and that's fair. But now
so
now so
and you know, so that's my opinion. Maybe if they called everybody back to well, but me, because of that reason, or because of that not that reason, or being there or not being there. I think I tried to email David McLean. I know he changes his email often, but I'm not worried about it. I don't really want to go to Vegas and Long Beach right now, and I like David McLean, but I don't need to be back in WoW.
okay.
Independent's awesome. Independent wrestling's awesome. Shout out to independent wrestling. We get to kind of do what we want, go where we want, be who we want, decide what we want. We get our own schedule. We get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a little more freedom. Everybody loves freedom.
Yeah, yeah. So let's play this scenario then. Let's assume that Selena Majors does not work at WoW any longer.
Okay.
Would you then return if asked?
If David called, I hate to make it about money, but I'd be wondering how much I'd be getting paid.
Well, no, I mean, look,
you know, I mean,
we all grown folk
it
here,
does
and
matter what
that's
state.
fair.
You have to move out of state, you know. I don't know. I'm kind of past and over the catty girl stuff because I'm a little older now. I don't want to bicker or fight or be catty with a bunch of girls right now.
Okay.
So I don't know if I would even maybe fit in with all those girls. Been there and done that, and being older now. So I don't think it would work for me right now.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair, and that's big to say. You know, you've admitted that it may not be in the cards of your lifestyle at this
Yeah.
point. So that's all good.
Too many girls for me. Too many girls. Let's mix it up a little bit.
Well, it is
Mix
an all girl
matching
promotion.
starting to come back into play.
Oh yeah, I was like, it is an all girl promotion, so you're gonna have that.
Yeah. It's a little too girly for Onyx.
Oh, okay. Well, see, now there's the difference. You talk about going in as Onyx. Would you and could you be Bronco Billie again?
Of course.
Or do you
Of
think
course.
that you outgrown Bronco
Yes,
Billie?
of course, because I am an actress. I'm in the union. I'm SAG. I'm AFTRA. As an actress and a job and getting paid for it, absolutely, I could go back.
Which would you prefer? If I had the power of the pen and to say, look, I can get you in WoW tomorrow, but I need you to tell me which character you want to be. You want to be Bronco Billie? Or you want to be Onyx?
Oh, I love Bronco Billie, and she's an awesome character, and the royal blue, and the Stetson hat, and
yeah, but you got to make a choice.
It would be an awesome character, but preferably I can play many roles, but preferably Onyx is my heart. Onyx is number one. Onyx is me. That's who I like to play. That's who I like to be. You know, she's more of a badass and not a baby face. Being myself from Baltimore, and that's more of who I want to be because that's who I created. Of course, I would go back to play Bronco Billie, but I prefer Onyx because I like to win. I like to beat people more than losing.
So you would like to incorporate Onyx in this scenario. If you could do it, you would like to take Onyx over to WoW and be a heel because you never had the opportunity to play heel on WoW television.
True, and yes.
Okay.
But I get to own Onyx. I'm not selling Onyx to WoW. I would own Onyx, and I would go in and have a match against Selena Majors. For real.
Yeah, I
For
don't.
real. And see who wins. Does
Okay.
anybody want to pay to see that?
You know, I wasn't going to ask, but but it
Let's do
seems
it for real. No script.
it seems as if there is a fair amount of heat between yourself and Selena Majors. Now, is there any
Not
other?
heat, confidence. It's not heat, it's confidence.
Okay, well,
I was just
issues.
picking a
Co-
character. That's the first. She's the first one that came to my mind.
Well,
Yeah, let's be a good one.
she's come to your mind.
Onyx should go beat Selena Majors for not welcoming Bronco Billie back. I mean, they don't even have a Bronco Billie at all, do they?
They have another variation of a cowgirl, or at least they
You
had one.
gotta send me the name and picture, or I'll Google it. What's the name?
Abilene Maverick.
Abilene Maverick. How do you even spell that?
I'll message you that on
Okay,
Facebook.
yeah, exactly.
But let me say this now. They did evolve the character. Because I'm trying to play fair on both sides of this. It is not a Bronco Billy clone in that yes, she is from Texas. Yes, I think they started off with the outfit, but it's
Oh, is
some
that new? How new is that?
uh 2014, I think. But
Oh,
but again, now this is what I was getting at. What the character basically evolved into being Abilene Maverick, the governor's daughter. So she's more a kind of rich Texas heiress, something like that.
mhm,
So
mhm.
so that was I say she's from Texas, and I think they gave her a little bit of the Texas look, but characters wise, it doesn't relate to Bronco Billy or any previous incarnation of it at all.
I don't know why they didn't bring a character Bronco Billie back.
Maybe
The,
that there's
I
only
don't know.
one Bronco
Selena,
Billy.
maybe. Selena wanted to marry a girl that looked just like Bronco Billie, and she just refuses to have anybody on the show that looks like Bronco Billie.
Oh
Selena
man.
must have something personal against Bronco Billie. Like, no, maybe, I mean, that is a cute outfit she had on. So maybe she doesn't like the outfit. She doesn't like Texas. She doesn't like brown hair, brown eyes. I don't know. You got to
Oh
get
boy.
Selena Majors on the show and ask her.
If I could get her on the show at this point, I damn sure would
Well,
do it because I think that there's some stuff that need to be filled in here. Um, okay. So anyway,
all right, I pulled up the character. So she has blonde, long hair and a navy long one piece with a little gold.
yes.
Yeah, nah, I'm not buying it. I don't know who's doing casting over there, but it reminds me of pizza. Cheesy.
Woof, you all in now, aren't you?
Yes. I
But
get it from the TV show Mom, if anybody watches that out there. They call it out for real. I'm like, God, sometimes it hurts people's feelings, but, you got to hear it.
but now again, I'm gonna say now that the outfit that you're looking at, when you said that kind of blue and with the gold trim,
Uh-huh.
that's outfit version 2.
Nah. She looks
The
like,
the first one she has is closer
she looks
to.
like pulsating Patty. Was that
Oh
her name? Patty, the cheerleader? Remember that character?
no, where did that come from?
It was a WoW character. Patty, she looked like a cheerleader.
Oh, Pizzazz, Patty
No, not
Pizzazz.
Pizzazz. Not Pizzazz.
That well, she went for the only two cheerleader characters they had was Patty Pizzazz, and she changed her name to Patty Pimp. I mean,
Yeah,
that
it's
okay.
Patty.
It was Patty Pimp, but then she changed it to Pizzazz and Randy Rara. Those are the only two cheerleader characters that was on WoW.
I have them here. Patty Pizzazz and the one that was her other partner.
Rara.
Right. Okay. Right. She reminds me of her. to me, the character.
Abilene Maverick reminds you of the cheerleader character?
Yeah. I wish I'll send you this picture. It's
Yes, you have to
you
send
know
it to me.
why? Here she is, Patty Pep.
Yeah, same girl.
Yeah. She reminds me of Patty
Pizzazz.
Pep.
Okay,
Looks like the same. It looks almost like the same girl in the same outfit and the same colors. To me, that new girl you were talking about that reminds you of Bronco Billie.
the Abilene Maverick character. Yeah,
Yes.
you have to see her in the original outfit too.
Okay.
Because the original outfit of Abilene Maverick is basically like Bronco Billie's color scheme in reverse.
Oh, okay.
Where there was blue, there's white. You know that type of thing. It's inverted almost.
Mhm.
But anyway, I mean that's neither here nor there.
I wish I got to keep the Stetson hat.
Did you
That
keep
was
the
a nice
outfit?
hat. Huh?
Did you keep the
No, I
outfit?
didn't get to keep the outfit either.
Well, you need to call him and say, hey, you know what? I really like this outfit.
No, you can have one made.
Well, there you go. Yeah,
Just call it something different.
well, yeah, technically, yes, you could do that.
Yeah.
You could just be the
Yeah. There's
Boston
rules. There's
cowgirl.
rules out there, fans. There are legal rules. There are legal rules. You can have the same outfit but call it a different name or change it up a little bit.
Change it up just enough the way you can get away
Yep.
with
Change it up a little bit.
it. There have been several mentions of Selena Majors in the course of this show, most of which have not been very favorable. Uh, so before I go any further, is there any particular story pertaining to yourself and Selena Majors that you would like to share?
No. Just besides, like I said, she was a good trainer and a coach, and maybe whatever she thought she did was right or wrong, and wherever I am or not with her. But the final one is, remember, I'm supposed to have a match with her. A match. No rules. Now that's crazy.
That is what you would like. You would like to have a no rules match. A shoot.
Well, no weapons.
No
No
weapons.
weapons.
Okay.
No weapons.
Well, that can't be
Can't
Bronco.
be bringing a gun to the match.
Well, now I watched a couple episodes in preparation for this, and now on TV, Bronco Billie and Selena were good friends. It doesn't sound like that's necessarily the case here.
Things change.
Things change. Okay.
Things change.
All right. So, are you ready to go over some of these episodes and recollect and go down memory lane of the appearances of Bronco Billie throughout the season of WoW?
Yes.
Okay. So here we go, folks. This
All right.
is Bronco Billie's appearances in every episode that she showed up in as a wrestler. Now, I'm not going over any vignettes or backstage interviews and stuff like that, but I mean, I may talk on one or two, but this is all the matches that she's had one episode to the next. So here we go. Episode 1, Bronco Billie appears in the Battle Royal for the WoW Championship. I think that was the main event of the program, if I'm not mistaken. And within that, unfortunately, Bronco was eliminated there and didn't really eliminate anybody else in there. What were your feelings about being inside that Battle Royal? Was that kind of a different vibe for you there?
That's a good question because I'm not a fan because I don't like that many people in the ring, although I can handle it, and I would get them all out, even now. But it's too much going on to kind of if you're going to be a fan or a viewer and watch a match, you kind of want to focus. And to me, to watch, in a ring, 8 people or 3 matches or 4 matches, to me, it's too much going on, and I'm not a fan. I don't like it. I prefer not to do it. I will do it. I can do it. I like to do it. But to me, in the ring, it should be 2, maybe 4 people only.
Okay. So was not a fan of being in the battle royal, but as it was, you participated, you did your job, and added another body to the battle royal, basically making the match, I guess in WoW's mythology, seem important because all of the top stars were going for the championship. Which essentially, if you're looking at that episode, everything that is being said on commentary, you had David McClain saying, "This is my dream to crown the first WoW champion." So I can see where the direction of that was headed is all about trying to make this title look, sound, feel important. Everybody wants it, and so let's just stick them all into a battle royal. Uh, Again, in over the years in wrestling and other promotions, we heard how dangerous a battle royal could be. Just too many arms and legs, and everybody's all over the place. Just like you said, did you feel like it was like you were endangering the point, or because of the number of people that was in it?
Is it endangering of all the people in it?
I said,
Like dangerous?
did you feel that way? Yes.
No.
No. Okay. You
No.
felt pretty comfortable.
I just feel I'm used to a lot of things going on at one time, and be aware of all your surroundings and accomplishing things and getting through things and achieving things. I mean, I know it is a lot going on, but for someone, I know I can handle it. I'm an Aries. I'm a fighter. I'm a believer. I have faith. So with all those things, I mean, that's all you need. Whether it's 50 people in front of you or one person in front of you, whatever in the ring, it's just easy for me.
Okay.
8 girls in a ring? What do you mean? Am I scared? No.
No, not scared.
No.
Concern for
It's
safety,
not.
probably that maybe it is. But
Yeah.
anyway,
In the wrestling world, I think it's silly. I don't. I'm not a fan. I don't like all those people in the ring, or all that action, or all what's going on, or winning, or getting there. Yes, but you can do it. You can do it one at a time too. You don't need 10 people. You can do it one at a time.
Okay. So you move from episode 1, and the next time we will see Bronco Billie on television will be episode 3, where Bronco and Becky the Farmer's daughter tag up and they wrestle against Harley's Angels, which is Easy Rider and Charlie
Yes.
Davidson.
Yes.
Bronco and Becky win, but they win by DQ. The match was a revenge match for Selena Majors. Surprise, surprise. There's irony in that. She was injured by a thug who was kind of the leader of Harley's Angels. And Bronco and Becky are going into this match looking for some payback for their friend Selena Majors. Bronco hits the Bulldog headlock, but before you can go for the cover and get the pin, is immediately attacked. And Harley's Angels and Thugs pretty much put the beat down on Becky and Bronco following this match, which is why the DQ happened. So, what do you remember about that match?
Well, I mean, this was a long time ago, but I thought we won the match.
You did.
Becky
You won,
the farmer's daughter
you won by
came in
DQ.
and saved me.
No, you won by DQ. Not on that one.
Well, she usually always saves me because Bronco always needed some help, you know.
But
you know,
okay.
even though I fought those girls, I love those girls.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you gotta. It's all about fight and love. Even though I fought those girls, I love those girls. Yeah,
what do you
Becky the
remember?
farmer's daughter. I needed her.
What did you remember about Becky? What, you got any memories of Becky the farmer's daughter?
Besides how cute she was. Oh, with her pigtails
Yes,
and her little jean shorts and her high kicks and amazing jumps.
Yes,
That girl was very athletic and acrobatic.
Yes, she was.
Yeah,
Why
high
she didn't
spirit,
continue?
good spirit.
She should have kept going in row. Why she didn't continue, I'll never know. She seemed like she was a perfect natural for it.
Well, when you meet in the business a lot of girls that are doing a lot of things like maybe acting or modeling and looking for a job and working in that industry, you kind of have to go with something else that may be calling you. Like, even though maybe you sort of should have thought Becky should have continued wrestling, maybe after that she got a great job writing stories for like kids books, and then once you commit to something like that, you have to kind of do it more full time. So even if she wanted to do it or should have done it, maybe she just couldn't do it at the time.
That's true. I mean, that's fair.
You get called in different directions, and you got to go in the direction you're going in to pay your bills, especially when you're an actor or an actress.
Oh yeah, yeah. I give you that, but I do agree with you fully that she had some amazing jumps in there, and she was basically like bouncing all over the place in the
Mhm.
matches. Just
She must have
once.
had some kind of She was probably in the gymnastics before she even started WoW, I'm sure.
Uh, and before anybody questions what I'm about to say, my mind already calculates. I know this is going to come out wrong, but I need to say she had amazing legs, and I and I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Yes, cutie patootie. I would like to know what these girls are doing now. If anybody wants to do their homework and their research and return it in.
Well, some of them I found, some of them I tracked down, but
Mhm.
they're y'all are a hard bunch to get. Let me tell you that. Yeah,
Well,
difficult.
what's Becky doing now? What's Becky the farmer's daughter doing now?
I think she's still out in L.A. I thought she was writing, like a script
Uh huh.
writer or something like that.
Okay. See, that's what I just said. She was writing like books for kids or something. She's writing. Awesome. Maybe that was her big dream before she even wrestled. So
Maybe.
cool.
And I'm gonna say that Becky, if you happen to hear this interview and are available, the doors are open. I'd really like to hear your story as well. Anyway,
Yes.
uh, moving on. After this horrific beatdown that you two took, I mean, now this is the babyface team: Bronco Billie and Becky the Farmer's Daughter. Arguably, if not a number one or number two babyface team at the time, because I don't think Cage
Thank you. Thank you very much.
because I think Cage fairly they did kind of take that slot at some point, but
Yes.
Bronco and Becky seemingly initially started out as like the top babyface tag team. Was there
Yes.
ever any talk? And I might have asked this already. If I did, I'm sorry. But was there ever any talk about, hey, you two are a good team together. Let's get you the belts.
Yeah.
They did. They did. They talked about that with you.
Of course. I
Oh,
mean,
okay. What was
even if
that
they didn't, in
conversation?
my mind, they did. I knew that was going to happen. We were great.
Well, what was that conversation like? I mean, was it just a passing comment, or did they sit you down and say, "Hey, look, we're thinking about putting the titles on you guys," or whatever the case may be?
No, I was probably just sitting in hair and makeup, talking to myself, dreaming and imagining the
Oh,
belts around me.
okay, okay. So, so now you skip an episode here again, and the next time Bronco Billy shows up is episode 5, and this time you're in a six-woman tag team match. Is Becky, the farmer's daughter, Bronco Billy, and Terry Gold, who's now the Wild Champion, and you guys are taking on Thug, Easy Rider, and Charlie Davidson. So the feud here between the babyface team and the heel team continues, and I guess you guys are kind of representing for the good girls out there, and Thug, Easy, and Charlie representing the evil.
Yes.
Uh, and a lot of this is basically built around pushing the Selena Majors Thug feud. That's what a lot of this is
And
for.
that still continues till today, 20-some years later. Wait, it hasn't been that long.
Not
There's
quite that long.
still this still Selena Majors and Bronco Billie feud. It hasn't ended yet.
Well, no, this is a Selena Majors and Thug feud. You guys,
Okay.
you guys didn't have. Well, you might have it now. So that might be a whole different issue now. But on TV, in character, on storyline, you were friends then. When
Mhm.
back in 2000, you were friends at the time, and
Mhm.
you were representing as part of the girls to defend her honor. So the match ends when what happened? A Thug goes up and she choke slams Terry Gold. She goes for a cover, but Selena Majors comes into the ring, hit Thug with a crutch because she was apparently injured at the time. So she busts her in the head with a crutch, and that gives Terry Gold the opening to kind of get up, hit a perfect 10 moonsault for the pin. So your first three matches on the show are all multi-person matches. Battle Royal tag team, 6-woman tag team. You went a while before you had any singles match at all.
Okay.
Well, I have to cover this. This is just
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
pointing that out.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
do you remember what the
But
tape?
I was still, you know, I'm not bragging, but I was still the top 5 girls. I
Yes.
was on the T-shirts. We did the signings. We did the fundraisers. Why? That's just, that's David McLean's team. You
Yeah.
know.
So, what was the taping schedule like? Because I know after going back through this and doing the interviews and whatnot that some of this was kind of taped ahead of its air date. I mean, it wasn't running live, but I also know that some of that stuff was done preceding the pay per view, which aired after the pay per view. So it's kind of a weird taping schedule with some of this. Do you remember how the taping was, the scheduling?
As far as it, I think it was only, we taped once a month, I think. I mean, I'm getting old and this was a little while ago, but I think we filmed once a month and it was for at least a couple shows. It
Okay.
was a very part-time light schedule.
Okay.
We trained 5 days a week, just, maybe a couple hours a day, and filming was, somebody might say, Lisa, that's not right, but I don't know. What I remember was it was once a month, and it was a couple shows. So it wasn't, to me, overwhelming or a lot or too busy or too crazy. Because, when you're in this business, I've worked, you can work up to 14, 16 hours a day up to 8 months on a TV show. So I'm used to putting in my hours. So WOW was just part-time, kind of on the side. It really wasn't that much time, and to me.
Well, no, I've heard that already. I mean, fairs. Truth be told, I think Riot told me something along those lines also, and it was the first time that I had heard that she. I think she said something to the effect that most people that she knew had another job because of the
Yes,
schedule that WoW took, which
yes.
again at that time I was like, I didn't know that because there's no way for me to have known that it was as light as you are telling me that it is. But
Well, you didn't have to take another job. I think it paid enough of your bills, but some people, like being an actress, you would always have another job, whether it was an audition or going to an acting class or training, or maybe you already had another job because you were a mom. You could definitely pull it off because, again, it was like it was just part-time hours.
I didn't think anybody walked into WoW as a mom, although that would be kind of surprising.
To me, it was part-time hours, but for someone that doesn't work a lot or put in that many hours, would think, oh my God, it was stressful. It was a lot of hours, a lot of time, a lot of energy. It's different to each person's view.
True.
2 hours a day, 5 days a week is a lot. But to me, if you work out, like you go to the gym every other day or you know, for an hour, to me it was just like a workout, you know.
Very true. Very true. So your first appearance as a singles match or in a singles match, you skipped a week again after the victorious 6-person tag team match y'all had the previous week. You come back in episode 7, and this is Bronco Billie's debut singles match, and she's wrestling against Erica Porter, aka Jungle Girl. Jungle Girl hits the big splash at the end for the win. But the seeds, I mean, basically this match is to plant the seeds for the feud between Jungle Girl and Becky the Farmer's daughter. So I don't know if it did, if it furthered any storyline for Bronco Billy immediately. It seemed like it was just kind of working around to it. Hey, let's get to the splash match deal with Becky and Jungle Girl.
Well, it was also giving me a chance to wrestle on my own. I
Yes.
didn't have my tag team partner, so I was trying to come out and wrestle by myself. And I mean, I look good, right?
Absolutely.
I might have got splashed and squashed by a girl twice my size, but you know, I look good taking it.
Well, you need to tell people, go back and look at that episode. Go look up episode 11.
It's
No,
amazing.
excuse me.
Jungle Girl does a splash from like the top, above the top rope.
Yeah, yeah, she does. And correction, go back and look at episode 7 of WoW, and you can see how good Bronco Billy looks in her match with Jungle Girl. You know, in her full Bronco Billy gear.
Well, I'm airbrushed with like 3 sets of eyelashes. What do you think?
Well, then you should look amazing. So there you have it.
With the blue glitter eyeshadow. That
Yeah,
stuff's awesome. I love that. As long as you don't get it in your eye.
you was rocking all of that good stuff. So now we're up to episode 11. So you've been off TV for a few weeks, at least in terms of matches.
I had to recover.
You had to recover from that big splash, and you're right. I guess we got to give credit to Jungle Girl because she does do an amazing splash, and you know, surprisingly, her splash has gotten better over the years. Like, she still does it, and she has such
Yes.
amazing form when she comes
Yes.
down.
Yes.
But by episode 11, you return to your tag team, and it's back to Bronco Billy and Becky the Farmer's daughter. We're now into the tag team tournament, and even though Becky and which this is part of the story I didn't get, and I guess you could kind of chime in. Becky and Bronco were tagged up essentially from the third week of the show, but you were placed as the underdog going against Riot and Danger. And I can only assume because they wanted to make Riot and Danger seem more dangerous as a unit. But
Try. They could try to make it look that way.
well, that's how they kept putting it off. They kept making it sound as, oh, Danger and Riot. I don't know if this team can ever be stopped, and this, that, and the other.
Right.
So, which again, I mean, if we're looking at it on paper, it would make sense that Becky and Bronco would walk into this as the favorites because they've tagged up 3 or 4 times already.
Mhm.
This is actually like the first or second time Riot and Danger's ever tagged. going into this tag team, I think it's the first. And so, yeah, they beat you guys up because they're the bad girls and they're supposed to be the big bad things. And I know they're like maybe the top 1 and 2 heels of the company.
Mhm.
But ultimately, ego gets in the way. Riot does a lax cover. Becky rolls her up, and y'all get the quotes upset win, and you move on in the tournament.
Yes.
Anything comes to mind when you think about that, Riot or Danger?
Riot and Danger. Anything come to mind besides? I mean, the match that Riot beat me. We didn't get there yet.
No, we didn't get there yet. But I mean,
Okay.
just them as a person, just them behind the scenes. Did you like them, or whatever that may be going on? Because I
Um.
talked to Ryan. Ryan seems like a nice person. I was surprised that she even remotely thought about going back to WoW, because she seemed like she was pretty much past it. And I know she was writing. She had moved on into doing screenwriting at the time.
Well, I did, even though Riot, did kick my butt, I did like her and appreciate her and who she was and what she did. I was definitely a fan of Riot. I can't say that I wasn't. Just because someone beat you doesn't mean you can't be a fan of them. And
Danger.
yeah, Danger too. Danger too. I honestly liked them and was a fan of them, and but even in if it doesn't work out or you lose at the end, it doesn't mean you don't like the person or get along with the person or think that the person's cool or think that the person's great. Just because they beat you, it doesn't mean they're a jerk. I don't think they were a jerk at all. They'd be like a part of my team, even though I fought against them.
Okay. And quick note for Danger that I think she was one of the personal stunt women for Gina Davis for a while, because she looked remarkably like her. So,
Mhm.
so yeah, go look at Riot. I mean, not Riot. Sorry, Danger. Go look at Danger
Yes.
in that episode, and then go look at the Long Kiss Goodnight, and then tell me that
Yep.
she didn't
Yep.
look like Gina Davis.
Very serious, very focused, very in character, very professional. Whether they win or lose, they had those characteristics.
Okay, so you have that. You get the roll up win from with your partner Becky. Y'all move forward in the tournament, and then you come back the following week. So I'm assuming during this taping schedule, you probably did double duty, doing a tag
Is,
match.
is this is this disciplinarian? Oh, she was
No,
last
no, no,
match.
no, no, not
Okay.
no.
All right, I'm jumping ahead again.
You jumping ahead. This is you versus Riot. Now again, in a single outing, unfortunately, you came up a little bit short. Whereas y'all beat Riot and Danger collectively, but Bronco Billy loses to Riot with the power bomb. He took a power bomb and went
Woo!
down.
From like 8 feet in the air.
Yeah,
God, how tall was that girl? 7 foot? Jeez, and that's kneeling.
Riot is a fairly tall young lady, and she got you up and brought you down pretty hard for that.
Whew, my back still hurts from that.
So,
If you don't believe me, anybody out there, get in the ring and do it yourself.
well, you certainly sold the power bomb with with the pain on your face. That's for certain.
Yes.
So now, do you remember what the point of that particular match was? Were they trying to do something going forward? Were they just doing this to try to get Riot back on track following the loss? Was this just a match just to have a match? Do you remember anything about that?
No, I think it was still, again, Bronco Billie coming out on her own without Becky the Farmer's Daughter and being a tag team match, trying to win, trying to make it, trying to beat these big, tall, powerful, strong, heel women. That was just trying to give Bronco Billie a chance to win, to me.
Okay. And so you had quite of an interesting deal going on there. If you're going to go by that storyline, because excuse me, you had what was the young lady? Jade. You had Jade and Lotus, who didn't win at all, right?
Mhm.
But then you have Bronco Billy, who was winning in tag team matches, but not necessarily in singles.
Yes.
So so you couldn't say that I can't win, because you could, but it was like you were saying, a coming out party trying to get that win in a singles environment.
Correct, but it's not always about if you win or lose. It's about, do you get in the ring? Do you take the challenge? Do you go up to someone you think you're going to lose against? That's what it's about. Bronco Billie was brave.
Bronco Billie is brave. You had
Yes.
your Rocky moment.
Yes. Now I have my Rocky moment.
Now you have your Rocky moment? Okay.
Now's my Rocky moment. That's where Onyx comes from. Black Rock. Rocky. The Rock. They're all in the same family.
Okay. So now we're going to move ahead to the next match. You go back into the tag team tournament. This is episode 16, because I think episode 13 was like a highlight show or something like that. So you go back into the tag team tournament. Now it's Bronco Billie and Becky the Farmer's daughter, and you guys, top babyface team, essentially going up against what was the top heel team at the time, but they were kind of transitioning over into being baby faces. And as I talked to Cher, aka Loca, this is the first time that Cage Heat was threatened to lose. Because on TV they had been pretty dominant. And they hadn't been pinned by anybody. And this is the first time that any team got to the point that they were about to win. And it took something from the outside to cost them that win. Jungle Girl comes out, interferes in the match, knocking Becky off of the top rope right before she does the splash. And then that gives Cage Heat the opening to hit their move and get the pin.
Mm-hmm.
So this match here seems like it operates primarily as a means to forward the Jungle Girl, Becky the Farmer's daughter storyline.
Yes.
And move Cage Heat forward in the tag team tournament so that they could get to their storyline as far as winning the belts are concerned. So the the only element that didn't get addressed there was Bronco Billie. Did they say, hey, all right, look, we know this is going to happen in this match, but this is what we have ready for you on the pay-per-view? Did you already know by the time that this was going down what you were up against at the pay-per-view coming up?
No, I didn't know what was up at the pay-per-view and what I had coming up. Not at all.
When did you find out?
I was actually in the ring that night. I knew that night when it all went down.
So they didn't tell you who you were wrestling at the pay-per-view until that day?
I mean, I knew who I was wrestling,
well, that's
but
what
I didn't know the outcome.
No, not the outcome. I said it.
Yeah.
Because, and I say that because all of these, I'm going over the story here week by week, and they seemingly have laid out, okay, we're laying out Becky and Jungle Girl story. We're laying out Cage Heat going into Harley's Angel story. So they look like they have these storylines for some of them kind of preceding like a week or two.
Yes.
And Bronco Billie, I was like, okay, at what point did they start kind of planting the seeds? Okay, it's going to be Bronco Billie and the disciplinarian, because that's ultimately who you win against at the pay-per-view. But it's just not a lot of build-up between the two of you.
That's true. They did jump around a bit, and sometimes they jump around and it didn't make sense, or they went, like the disciplinarian match. That was like a big change, and I felt sidetracked, and it didn't quite make sense yet. But that's part of story and writing and matches and scripts. Sometimes you don't always know what's going to come up, and things change and things come up, and even up until that point,
Yeah. So,
maybe it doesn't make sense, but that's what happened. Somebody threw that in there. It's like when you do anything when you go to work, you don't know what's going to happen. Is Joe going to show up with the papers for the meeting, or is he going to call out sick? I don't know. You got to go to work and just see what's going to happen.
Yeah. Side note for anybody that hasn't listened to the episode with myself and Loka, we pulled back the curtain that there were a couple of people in WoW who played multiple characters, the disciplinarian being one of them, who also starred as one of the Daughters of Darkness earlier in the. Well, no, I think she actually did it afterwards too. So she she was working double duty as a character. I forget the young lady's name, but the disciplinarian and either Misery or whatever the heck the other daughter was.
And some names changed, and this is a way to introduce all the other characters in WoW and start bringing them out, because there was like 30 girls, you know. We got to get them in there somehow, some way.
Yeah, but that pay per view was overloaded.
Yes.
It was too
And
many.
it didn't all make sense. And
No.
again, I guess you live and learn.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because I can understand the logic behind the pay per view. I can understand the logic of, you know what, like you just said, we got to get these people onto the show, but it was too
All
convoluted.
Selena Major's fault again. I was just saying,
Oh,
she was the writer, and it's all her fault.
so,
Yes.
okay, so she booked that entire pay
I
per
mean,
view.
she's from Georgia, and she's writing scripts. Did she even
Hey,
go to college?
don't get on Georgia folk now. I'm from Georgia.
Oh, God. Oh. I mean, you don't have to go to college to succeed, but I'm just wondering if you're going to be a writer, do you have any training or background in writing, Selena Majors?
Well, I mean, at the very least, she could have just trimmed down the matches, man. Like, hey, look,
It's okay.
we don't need 13 or 14 different matches on here. Let's just get it down to 7 or something like that. Everybody's not gonna make this show. That's
Yes.
all that would be to it. Everybody's not gonna get on to the pay per view tonight. I'm sorry.
Yes.
We need the big matches. We need the matches that people are willing to pay for.
Yes. Yes.
So, all right, so let's be honest. So they basically shoehorned this feud between Bronco Billie and the disciplinarian.
Yes.
Essentially, it comes out of nowhere, and the only
Comes out of nowhere. I lost my ranch.
yeah, the only
It
setup for
made,
that is that you're on the phone and on the pay per view. Again, this is online. You can look at it if you're listening to it. Go find it. Uh, she's on the phone and she hears that I've lost my ranch, and for some reason they won't say who bought it, and you're getting this information directly before you have a match.
yeah, it's like a bad soap opera. It's horrible.
So,
I mean, you know,
yeah,
right? The truth
yeah,
hurts. But
yeah,
people watch it. People watch soap operas. People watch bad soap operas.
yeah. I mean, look, I got nothing against that. I just, again, I just felt like it was as we're going over this episode by episode, because that's what we have done.
Yes.
We went from episode 1 to episode 16, and at no point is there any relative confrontation between Bronco Billy and the disciplinarian or something like that. I mean, it literally just comes up, pops up out of the blue, and now you got this whole new storyline kind of kicking off. And you two had the match. Bronco Billy gets her first singles win, uh, pinning the disciplinary with a bulldog headlock because the disciplinary hit you with a pedigree or whatever she called her move, and thought that she won, but Bronco gets her foot on the rope. Turn around, you get the pin, and then boom, 1, 2, 3. But even with the win, now they're basically trying to pull the rug out from underneath you. She gets on the microphone and says something to the effect of, "Hey, Bronco, I'm the one that bought your ranch," and it's kind of cut off from there.
Well, that's close to when the show we ended.
Yeah,
We couldn't tell you our story any further.
couldn't
You
follow it
know,
up.
if everybody runs out of money, how can I tell you my story?
Yeah, you couldn't really follow that one up. I know, but okay. So let's say this: what was the story supposed to have been, or did they even get that far?
They didn't even get that far, to my
Okay.
knowledge. I don't know. It's like when you with any TV show or or soap opera. I can't tell you can't tell you what's going to happen next. That's when you're supposed to tune in. You got to find out what happens next. You got to call David McLean.
You know, I wish I could call him and say, okay, tell me what was supposed to happen here, or whatever the case. But now, there lies the problem when you have these hiatuses, because it's not just this one. It's not just the hiatus between 2001 to 2013. There was the hiatus between 2013 to 2015 or something like that. And in between each one of these hiatuses, life happens. And these girls who either signed up and came in to be Wild Girls, by the time it came back around, whether that be 10, 15 years like the original girls, or 2 or 3 like the ones that got bought in the second go round, they found other stuff to do. A lot of them got other gigs, and it wasn't necessarily always wrestling.
Yeah.
Some of them got pregnant,
Yeah, you
or
get married, you have kids, you want to have a more secure job,
yeah,
you know, peace of mind, something normal, security. You know, there's certain jobs where there's security, you know, like delivering mail. You know, people are always going to buy stuff, and they're going to want it delivered. So delivering mail would be a good, secure job.
yeah. And I know that sounds funny, you know, for some people hearing, you know, somebody in entertainment say, "Hey, deliver mail," but that is the absolute truth. That it's a secure
Food.
job,
You know, we all have to eat. The food business is good. We all have to eat.
and when you're grown, you're looking for benefits. So,
We love music and entertainment. We love to laugh. That's another good business.
well, it can be. It has its ups and downs. But anyway, so the pay per view, Bronco Billie earns her first win, and we went over the finish there. Disciplinarian says, "Ha ha! I bought the ranch because you know teachers had that extra surplus of money sitting in their home that she decided to buy a ranch." I don't know.
I
Anyway,
don't want to live in Texas anyway.
so
I didn't.
the final episode of WoW was episode 22, and you kind of bookend this thing in that Bronco Billie was in the main event in the first one in the Battle Royal, and Bronco Billie is in the main event of the last one in a singles match. And you're taking on Thug. Now, Thug wins, but you're still working main event here. Now, to the best of your recollection, because it seems like a lot of these things, or at least the 2 episodes that aired after the pay per view, were essentially taped before the pay per view ever went live. Do you remember that?
Yes, I believe the live show was our last show.
Okay. How did you get the information following the pay per view? I mean, because you got that, you go do your job, and I'm assuming that you're waiting to be like, all right, well, we'll be back here Monday, or we'll
When the
be.
plug gets pulled, the plug gets pulled. It's pretty quick. Gossip, word of mouth. Do you come to work the next day? WoW was always the thing. You know, this is what's scary, and this is a really good point with WoW. You would work, go to work, go to work, go to work. Did they call you that night? No. Go to work the next day. Go to work. Go to training. Did you get along with the girls? Did they call you that night? Don't come back? No. Go to work the next day. Get in the ring. Listen to what they had to say. Get along with this girl. Go home. Did they call you that night? No. Go back the next day. Like, it got scary for a while because they would call you at night and say, you know, thank you very much, but you don't have to come back to training the next day. So for a while, I was always like, wow. I never got that call, so I kept going and going and going. So, and something like that, you never know when you're going to get a call that night, you know, don't come in the next day. So talk about no job security, you know.
Yeah,
That weighs heavy on the heart and mind.
I bet. I mean,
It's just definitely not cut out for everyone. And if you try to make it cut out for you, because your big dream and goal in life is to be like a wrestler, it takes more than just not the looks or the body or working out or going to training, but having that spirit and that, if people judge you, keep going, or if people call you names, keep going, or if people don't like you, keep going, or if you don't think you fit in, keep going. Has a lot to do with you.
Yeah, that's true. Can't dispute that point.
Yeah, keep going, keep working. Somebody might be talking about you. Keep doing your work or your job. It pays the bills. If you think somebody doesn't like you, or they're not getting along with you, or you don't fit in, or they're even calling you names, so what? Keep working, because whatever that work is paying your bills, and that means a lot. It pays your phone. You can talk to your family and friends. It pays for the cable bill. You can watch your favorite TV shows or listen to your favorite radio show.
Yeah, but I hadn't heard that. I guess that uneasy feeling of going back to your home, your
Yeah,
apartment, or whatever, and not knowing if the company is going to call you and say,
that's what
"Hey,
they did. They called you that night. Don't come in.
man, okay, yeah, that's kind of messed up."
Yeah.
I mean,
Until you
now,
got the contract, which was,
I
it,
understand it's the business, and the business is not kind. So I'm not, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination saying, "Oh man, they were wrong for doing it," because you know what you're signing up for when you go after any acting job. You can get cut
mhm.
at a moment's notice. That's
Right.
it is a super competitive industry. The entertainment field is, and I mean that's just part of it. But at the same time, it does feel cold, especially when you have people that are probably banking their life and livelihood, and probably you know moved from Minnesota or Texas or Georgia or the Carolinas, and chasing their dream. They get up there, and then you're waiting around and like, oh yeah, don't come to training Monday.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there was girls that left their husband in another state to go to the training, and what were we in? Ah, God, the Great Western Forum in Inglewood.
Yeah, Inglewood.
Yeah, Inglewood up to no good.
There you
The
go.
Great Western Forum.
Mhm.
That was an awesome place to be. But we had to drive. I think it depends. Sometimes training was in the morning. Sometimes it was at night. You know, you got to go. You got to drive. You got to be there. You got to show up. You got to do it. It's different than other jobs because you don't know what to expect. If you work at Dunkin' Donuts, every day you're going to go in, you're going to fry or bake the donuts and cover them with icing. But if you're doing something like this TV show, every day you go in, you're learning something new. You're learning a back bump to a front bump to a flip bump to a punch in the gut, get smacked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every day was different. So you also have to know that if you're going to get into something like that. It's definitely not the same thing every day.
Well, all of you guys put up about a while in a hotel or something like that, or it's just up to you. Like, all right, hey, you got a gig, find your own place to stay.
That is what happened. And that's another good point because Koala Kate, who I love, amazing, wonderful, talented, spirited person who came from Australia and left her husband. And when she came here, she didn't have a place to stay. And I had an extra, I was staying in a 2-bedroom apartment. So I told her she could stay in the other bedroom. So I gave her a place to stay, and maybe if I didn't give her a place to stay and she couldn't afford to stay anywhere, maybe she would have went back to Australia. So to this day, she thanks me for that.
Okay. You two still in contact with each other like that?
We are. We still talk often, especially on Facebook. But they didn't provide room and board for us.
Yes. And I guess to recap, Kate or Koala Kate would have been on the show, and she was a character set to be on the show, but she said she had some, I guess, some legal issues as it pertained to her work visa or something along those lines.
Yes. Yes.
So she just
Mhm.
had bad luck. Or,
Well, yeah, it wasn't bad luck. I guess it was more of a timing thing. So, that was the rules, and she still went through the training and the experience and the support. But she didn't get to actually be seen or performed on the show. But she does fitness. She does fitness in LA now, so she still is in that athletic field of work.
okay, there's a lot of girls that came out of Wild out in the fitness.
Yeah, I think
Surprisingly.
she's a trainer at one of the gyms in West Hollywood or Hollywood.
Well, there you go, Koala Kate, the
Yep.
the the wild girl that we never knew.
Yep.
I wonder what.
Thunder from down under.
And she never got the chance to even attempt to come back. I
Yep.
guess because by
Poor little thing. Poor little thing. I should put her on Smash Bam Pow, but I'd have to fly her from LA. No, I think she's coming to the East Coast soon to visit.
okay.
So I'll have to put her on Smash Bam Pow.
Well, you need to do that then. Buy some boots and get her an outfit and y'all wrestle.
I don't have to buy her any boots. I got tons of boots right here I'm looking at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm looking at like at least 5 pairs of wrestling boots right now. I'm packing for New Jersey and maybe Atlantic City to see you next week.
There you go. Atlanta.
Who am I
You
wrestling?
gotta remember
Yeah,
Atlanta.
am I wrestling anybody? You got me wrestling anybody over there?
I don't know. I have to go look through my
Okay, well let me
database.
know. It's like a week away.
uh, Before we go, I have to go down the line on the pay-per-view just a little bit because you were there, you bore witness to it, and you had the thrill of being on the card. Uh, First off, this is one thing I always had to ask. What's the name of that? It was a team that debuted on the pay-per-view, but for some reason debuted in singles matches. I really didn't get that, but that's
Mhm.
just the way that Nikki Law and something Order. I can't remember her name right now. Do, do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
You don't?
Not
Okay.
at all. I have to see a picture.
Uh,
I can barely remember names. I need to see a picture. No, I don't know who you're talking about.
yeah, they didn't
We're
wrestle.
talking like the last show now. Somebody
Yeah,
got thrown in.
exactly. There you go. Somebody got thrown in. It was the last show. It was the pay per
So
view.
basically, you're saying they're not making any sense. They just threw in another match.
Yes.
Ugh.
That's basically what it was. Another match that just got kind of tossed in there. Nikki Law versus Hammer and Heather Steel. It was a singles match, but Nikki Law came out with her tag team partner. Let's just call her Misty Order or something like that.
Right, right. I remember now. Like once again, they're trying to introduce and bring out all these wrestlers.
Why?
They're trying.
It was,
Yes, that's it. They're trying to get the girls out. They want you to see them. They want to give them a chance. Their debut. They just. When I say they blew their wad too soon, too much, I mean, it's like at going to Vegas playing cards. You put all your money on the table and you lost. You shouldn't have done that. You should have did a little bit at a time. Now you got to go home.
well, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was talking about earlier. I was like, it was death by a thousand cuts. They had so
Yes.
many other things that were going on there,
Yes.
and that match was completely unnecessary.
So apparently they were under bad management and writing, and that's what happened. So hopefully things have changed now for them.
Well, I mean, it's a much tighter ship. That's one thing I can say. I certainly believe that. And they don't have any pay-per-views that they're going towards. I mean, look, in 2001, pay-per-view was still the promised land for a pro wrestling company. If you were going to make big money, you were going to get it off a pay per view, but you needed to have something hot
Yes.
to be able to get people to buy the pay per views. Now I saw the pay per view, or at least the release of the numbers, and uh, I don't have it in front of me, but it weren't good. I mean,
Right.
it wasn't enough to support it. Now, if they had
Yes.
had people across this country just buying it in
You need
droves, then
more of a fan base to do pay-per-view.
there you
We
go.
definitely needed more time. Absolutely.
There you go. That's what and I'm looking at the card for Wild Unleashed, which was the name of it, and as I'm going down here, I was like, a lot of these matches didn't have anything behind it. Tanya
Right.
the Warrior Woman versus Jane Blonde. I don't think they had any build up at all. Randy Rara had build up in that she was fighting for, hey, I'm returning after getting my eye gouged out or whatever the heck she was dealing with. You know,
Yes.
so that had a little bit of a story. Beach Patrol and Fair versus Fair in Paradise, that didn't really have anything behind it. We talked about, your match, which they gave a storyline to, but it was last minute. But everything else on top of that had, stories. So if we include Bronco Billie versus the Disciplinarian, that's one. Roxy Powers versus Slam Dunk, two. Jungle Girl and Becky the Farmer's Daughter, three. Cage Heat versus Harley's Angels, four. Terry Girl versus Danger, five. Lana Star, Patty Pizzazz versus Ice Cold and Poison, six. Thug and Selena Major's main event, seven. That's a 7-match pay per view right there. You could have lopped off everything else.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
Now I know this is armchair quarterbacking, but
Right.
it's
It's you know what? Simplify. Less is more.
I would have thought
Sometimes
so.
those sayings are golden.
And they make a lot of they're there for a reason. They make perfect sense, and it is absolutely true. And nothing against, again, the girls, because a lot of them I like Jacqueline Hyde. Like I said, I got a chance to talk with
Yes, me
Vanya.
too.
She,
Yes.
she's entertaining. And, I enjoyed my conversation with her. Some of these other ones I haven't had the chance to talk to yet. I might get a hold of them later, but as far as storyline was concerned, no, it didn't. That was just filler. It didn't really do anything for anything.
Mhm.
So there we have it, folks. I said I wasn't
That's
going to.
that's telling Bronco Billie's story and WOW.
That
I
is,
think you covered it all.
yeah. We try to
And
be as
where is she
thorough.
now? And what happened to her now?
Who's
And
that?
why did she just fall off the planet of the earth?
Who?
Bronco Billie.
Bronco Billy. Only Onyx knows. Uh,
Onyx doesn't care about Bronco Billie. I'm just wondering what happened to Bronco Billie and WoW.
well,
Onyx is Bronco Billie going mad. Bronco Billie got so mad she turned black, mean, and evil, and now she's Onyx. So that's
well,
why she's so hostile.
I just figured Bronco Billy went to the bank and straightened out whatever loan issues she had. Like, hey, I don't know why y'all sold my property over to this nut job teacher, but y'all need to get that back. She went through some legal measures and got her deed back, and yeehaw, she rides off to the sunset. Although I'm relatively sure that originally speaking, at some point, and come on, it's Wrestling 101. At some point, the deed to the ranch would have been up for grabs in a match somewhere.
Yeah, that would be great
uh,
to come back and win my ranch back.
I'm sure that was going to be the payoff at some point, or the disciplinary was going to you're going to have to work for me, something. As long as I own the deed to your ranch, and then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, after being verbally and physically abused, you're like, I want a match, and put my career versus the deed to the ranch, or something, some such wrestling nonsense that we're used to seeing.
Yes.
See,
I'm sure I definitely would have won my ranch back and buried and tied the disciplinary up against her kid's desk. Yes.
Buried and tied the disciplinary up against her kid's desk. I'm not sure that. I'm not sure if that's family friendly or not.
That's funny to me. You said it's all changed now.
It has.
We can handle more now.
They can handle more. Now, listen, if I was going to write for the return of Bronco Billie today, okay, now first let me just say this: there is a segment that I normally do during these interviews during the show here. I normally do two different segments. One is fantasy booking, and the other one is random questions. Now I skipped over random questions because just because because we added in something for you because you're a wild girl. We took out random questions and we did the rerun of your entire wild career. But as far as fantasy booking is concerned, if I were going to book the return of Bronco Billie to WoW, I don't know if I would have Onyx walk in initially. I think that you'd have to return as Bronco Billie because people know who Bronco Billie is.
I think I would like to return as Bronco Billie,
But
but
transition over
the,
into Onyx
the
at some
same
point.
outfit, but black. Instead of the royal blue, I wear black, and I come in as I've had enough.
No,
Now that
you
I'm
gotta have the royal
wrestling,
blue. You gotta have the royal blue. You just need somebody that you can turn on to where that you can do it. In fact, if it were me, I would have you. I would have Bronco had a confrontation with David McClain. Come in all smiles. Come in happy. Come in as the good girl. Have your match, but be uncharacteristically aggressive so that they can call
I
it
don't
on.
know if I can do that, but I don't know if I don't think I could do that.
You could.
I have to be aggressive at this point.
Well, it would be uncharacteristic for Bronco Billie. You follow what I'm saying? That that would be uncharacteristic for her. So if you show up in a Bronco Billie outfit, the old outfit, navy blue, the Dallas Cowgirl deal, the whole 9 yards, people would expect her to be a good girl. But when she walks into the ring and the bell rings and she starts eye gouging and all that other stuff, I was like, that would be uncharacteristically aggressive for her. She wins the match, and then you get on the microphone, and then you tell David McClain, all right, this is what I think, and this is why I'm like this. Because 10 years ago, I gave my blood, sweat, and tears to this company, and then when you started up, you didn't call blah, blah, blah. So yeah, now you call me because,
Is he moving the company to New York?
no.
Because I'm only a couple hours from New York.
I don't think he's going to New York, honey. I think it's just all L.A.
Tell him to bring it to Atlanta.
He don't want to
You
come down to
know,
Atlanta.
Atlanta's big on the industry chart.
It is.
It is. It's very big.
And I've made that suggestion. I was like, look, you can come down to Atlanta. But I've said it to a couple of girls. We got studios in here. I was like, renting a studio here for TV is probably cheaper than renting that nightclub in LA.
Yes, yes, yes. A
You
lot
know.
of artists come out of Atlanta.
So yeah, y'all bring it down over here. I was like, I'll be right there in the show
Yep.
with my microphone in hand, ready for my interviews,
Yes.
and
I know I'll be there.
and ready to
I'll be there. I'll be ready. We're to take some pictures and talk some more about this when I come down there next week.
well, try not to get too uncharacteristically aggressive in your next go round of talking about.
I said I don't think I can do that.
I know you did, but I've had you for a good amount. We covered a lot of ground in the history of Bronco Billie. Just
We did.
one, I
We
think
did. They tired of hearing. They tired of hearing about Bronco Billie.
I don't know if they're
So
tired of
they'll
it.
just have to go Google Onyx the wrestler.
I don't think they're tired of it, but I think that they've gotten their fill. I mean, they got a lot of information about WoW and everything that went on behind the scenes in WoW, probably more than what they thought they were going to get. And I
Yes.
also going to say, look, for those of you that's listening, and we talked about it earlier in the show, some of the girls that were cast that never quite made it to air. The original Bronco Billie that was supposed to be there, and supposedly the original Hammer and Head of Steel. I know some of you guys out there listening have not seen these pictures because it's not like they're floating around all over the place. But
they're still there. WWE.com. There's still old pictures over there.
no, I have them. I have the pictures.
Yeah, yeah, they're all on YouTube. The new TV YouTube.
I just know that a lot of them haven't seen it.
Right.
Believe it or not, a lot of them have not caught those pictures, and like I only found them in one location. I think a lot of them have been removed, quite honestly.
Mhm.
But I do have at least 3 of them featuring that, and I'm going to put them up on Facebook for you guys that's listening to this that are interested. These are the photos of the girls that did not make it to air. There's Madison, Koala Kate, Bronco Billie version 1, Hammer and Head of Steel version 1. So,
Yes.
so you can see that these are promotional pictures that just
Yes.
never really saw the light
Yes.
of day.
There aren't many of those out there, but we can even start like a discussion group wherever you are most. I'm not sure if it's Facebook or any of the old WoW fans. If they have any of those pictures in their collection, send them.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
because I actually have a couple old ones. I have one of me of Koala Kate a few years back that no one's ever seen, but anyone else that has any, send them to us.
All right.
Reminisce.
You need to put that out there. You need to jump on your Facebook and let them know.
I will. As soon as you send me a link to all this, I'm gonna link it all together. And I know a lot of fans still that have pictures like that. I ran across someone just today. Let me see if I can find him on my page. He was talking about he was wishing the WoW girls a happy new year, and he was a special fan of Jungle Girl because he was from Baltimore. And I even sent him out a message on Facebook that, hey, don't forget, even though Bronco Billie says she was from Texas, it's Onyx, Lisa Danielle, and I'm from Baltimore too, and his name is Jerry Williams. Okay. That's who he is on Facebook, sending out all the WoW girls a Happy New Year. So I was just talking to him today. I'm sure he has some old pictures.
Well, good man, Jerry. If you listen to this, then drop some pictures on where I place the promotional shots. You feel free to attach a photo onto that at the bottom. You can leave that in the comment section. And Onyx does breeze through the Women's Pro Wrestling Network page. So if you got some comments for her following this, leave them in the comment section below. She may answer. You never know, man. So hey.
I usually I look at my emails and social media almost every day, and I try to answer as many people as I can. I really do, in some way, even if it's a comment. Yes.
All right. Well, there you have it. She is willing to answer you. So drop that line.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Fans are number one.
Absolutely.
Sometimes fans are better than family. Let's get real.
Sometimes.
Yes.
So, folks, I think we have done it. We have pushed on. We have gotten a huge podcast done in here. I mean, it is loaded, full of information, covers her full career at WoW, and then some. So,
yes. And there's more some. There's more some. This interview may be over. We haven't talked about all the things Onyx did after WoW, like Spider-Man 1, working with George St. Pierre from MMA, continue on with my own business and acting and the 70s show, and it goes on and on and on and on. So if you Google Onyx the Wrestler, all the information is there, whether it's Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. It's all there, because I try to be a social media monster, but help me. Send me some messages, too, and some pictures and some information. And let me know your opinions of why you think WoW went down. I'd like to know.
Well, you know,
and why they never called Bronco Billie back. I want to know.
That
Let me
might be
know.
interesting. That could be interesting to hear.
Okay.
Let's hear some fan theories. So
All right.
So there we have it, folks. If you haven't done so already, go visit facebook.com/Women Pro Wrestling Network, all one word. And if you haven't liked the page, go like the page. We'd love to have you there. We'll try to drop little podcasts like this and videos and other little treats available for you to support the channel and what we do. Also links to our YouTube channel, which is also Women's Pro Wrestling Network. And we have pushed off onto other levels of social media, which I need to get back into full swing of. But follow on Instagram and Twitter, WPN Wrestling. That is WPN Wrestling. And you can also go to WPNWrestling.com. So that is the nexus for all social media pertaining to the Women's Pro Wrestling Network. And I will endeavor to try to catch up with Lisa when she comes to Atlanta, and perhaps we can get the other half of this for those of you that want to hear about the transition to Onyx. And maybe if I twist her arm hard enough, she'll give you some more dirt behind the scenes stuff that happened at WoW. So
all you gotta do is feed me. You don't have to twist my arm. Make me some Southern food. I'll tell you anything you want to know.
Well, on that note, folks, I appreciate you tuning in for the entirety of this podcast, or download it wherever you may have it, or catch the live stream. Thank you for all of that. And be sure to catch it on the next go round. And again, go hit those likes and those follow buttons and subscribe, not just for me, but for Lisa, Danielle, and all of her social media platforms as well. We both appreciate it because all your support does count. And with that, wish you a fond adieu and good night. So long, everybody.
Yes, good night. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the WPN's Rights and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling. If you have questions or comments, please contact us via our Facebook or our YouTube channel at the Women's Pro Wrestling Network. If you're new to the WPN, feel free to subscribe to our channel and like our page. We appreciate your support. Thank you again for listening.